Thanks for joining in. I am still in a little bit of recovery mode. Right out. I wonder if I can show you. Oh, let me see if I can do this. No, it's going to go the other way. Well, let's see if we get all the way around. Outside on those fields out there, we had a bunch of peeps on Saturday gathering and fellowshipping and probably making some people afraid and nervous and ticked off. Yes, did we get a little flack? I think we did. Yeah, a little ugliness, but hey, what's the world without a little ugliness? You know, that makes the beauty all the better, right? So we had turned our farm into a gathering place and had fire pits and hot chocolate bombs and pretzels and melting cheese and mulled wine and beer and connection points and project focus on things that really matter in our community. And so, wow, it was really amazing. But I am here to tell you, and my husband helped so much moving snow out of the way so people had a place to stand and hang out by the fire pits, because there was, this much snow that needed to be removed before we could have a gathering place, and just fantastic people. You go, ollie, ollie, oxen free, come out, don't be afraid, let's gather. It was a beautiful thing, beautiful people, amazing people, loving people, positive people, so happy to have a place to come. And then on Sunday evening, we had our home fellowship church gathering, and it's just right on the cusp. You can just feel the richness of the relationships where everybody's starting to melt and open up and know how to be together, and just so encouraging. But I'm telling you, I'm tired. I was out there shoveling off the back deck and doing some other stuff, and it kind of caught up with me. And then there was all the falderall of people's coats and jackets and stuff and food and everywhere, and cleaning up. Anyway, I'm not complaining. I promise I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you that what I had said to you on Friday when I did my scope was I'm kind of busy doing something that I know I need to do to create that forward motion that pushes back against fear and paralysis. So I don't want to sit here and talk to you and tell you stuff, because I'm going to go do it. So that was the thing. And now I'm kind of in the aftermath of doing it. And just a couple of thoughts for you guys to share today. I feel like as we move forward into 2021, I'm going to go back to teaching more about the principles of brain retraining and actually the how-tos of dealing with fear and anxiety and all that stuff, and kind of get into more of a teaching, mentoring mode. I'm still, frankly, I think all of us, I'm still feeling like I'm a little bit of a holding pattern, because I believe some things are getting ready to break out and break forth. But I'm realizing now that we can't sit back waiting for the baby to come all day long, right? There comes a point where you're just so pregnant, and we've used this analogy, oh my gosh, so much over the summer, the pregnancy and what God is bringing forth. You're like, I don't even want to think about that analogy anymore. But do you remember the old Lucy episode where she is ready to drop that baby? She's ready to drop little Ricky, and all Ricky Sr. can do is stare at her like, when are you going to pop? I mean, any minute now, you're going to pop, you're going to explode. And that's the way I feel like the last couple of months have been, this place where I'm just waiting and watching and seeing and looking for any indication. Did the fish bite? Is it on the hook? And at some point, I think we're all learning that the most important thing and some of the bigger acts of faith are to get back doing the stuff we're responsible to do. And very often those things that we're responsible to do, purgatory pregnancy, right? The thing is we have to get busy doing the stuff we were created to do, even when we've got their eyes on, when's baby gonna come? When's the labor gonna come? When's this thing gonna pop out? And it's kind of this strange world. I don't think I've really adjusted yet to doing 2021. I really haven't, but I stay focused, and I want you to stay focused, because when you are busy loving someone, it's hard to be scared. Now I'm talking about the codependent kind of love, where you are so invested in your identity and enabling someone's sick situation that you're always rescuing them, always helping them, always being victimized by them, allowing them to dominate and control. You know, what do they talk about? There was a book out, a couple of decades ago about bad things people do when they're in love, like women, stupid women in love, you know, kind of thing. That what women do under the circumstances and they call love is not necessarily love. And so I'm not talking about that kind of codependent love, but I'm saying is when you're busy at the business of loving and serving, it's harder to be afraid. It is, because you're actually doing the thing you were created to do. Now, I'm not saying there's not anxiety in it, and depending on who you're working with, you know, you could be working with some really difficult people who like to make your life miserable, who like to control the show, who like to run and keep things working a certain way, and power struggles. That stuff really can be a hassle. But when you are personally using your power and your choice and your creativity to go and do some things for others, they become love and service focused, and then you have less time and energy to sit back, wait for the baby, be anxious, and be overcome by fear and anxiety. So I think that's one of the things that I've been doing. I've been trying to stay focused on a few simple things that I can do every day or every week that get a project done, that amount to people, that amount to touching people. So organizing an event and gathering people and then connecting them and working on communications and working on messaging and and then calling people up on the phone and saying to them, well, let's work on that together. How is that working for you? How can we help you get to the goal in this particular project, in this particular community effort? How can we do that? And then creating systems to support that, and getting very live, very local, very loving about what needs to happen here. This is the dinner parties you host. These are the people that sit at your table. And like I said, last week we had our third dinner extravaganza with someone that God has given me a great amount of love for, but never in a million years would I said, I just want to go make that a regular thing with this particular person. And yet, because of that, when we encounter this person, I'm noticing God's love increasing, and I'm noticing that I don't have a lot of time to be anxious or afraid of this setting, this dynamic, because there's too much. I'm too busy learning how to love. And I think this is the heart of that. There is no fear in love, because perfect love casts out fear. And very often in the past, I've thought that meant, well, yeah, because if I just knew how perfectly God loved me, you know, his little bubble, his little, bubble wrapped kid, so wrapped up in his love, I can never be separated from his love. If I just really got how much he loved me, I wouldn't be scared. Is that true? Yeah, I think it is. But I think that the mature version of that is, if I worked on perfect love for others, it's harder for me to be afraid of them. If I learn how to love the people that I've been afraid of, maybe it goes into the prayer closet. Maybe it goes into some way that I go out of my way to do something kind, or serve them, or spend time, or have a conversation, engage, or set someone else up for success. I think the other side of that, perfect love casts out fear, is that if I'm too busy loving, it's harder, I think, to be absorbed by my self-preservation, which is where fear goes, right? Fear is all about, oh my God, what do I have to do to be safe, right? But if I can shift into loving, serving activities, I can position myself to be more absorbed with the object of God's affection and the object of what God is doing than absorbed with my potential getting hurt. And I know that's a tricky one, because for a lot of people, there's so much hurt in interaction. The last thing you want to do is be with people. It's usually people that scare us the most, right? Of all the fears you can have, it's the people fears that are the big one. It's the scary people that might hurt me, or the people that remind me of the people that hurt me. The person that brings up a memory, or the person last time I was with them, they hurt me. And so I get that. But I'm saying there is something amazing about being too busy, focused on something I can do and something I can control, to be absorbed all the time with my personal safety. That is the stay safe meme that I think is so twisted. The Bible never says stay safe. It never does. You take care. You focus on your safety. You be worried all the time so that you're so completely focused and afraid to do and be and extend the gospel and touch people and lay hands. You have to stay safe, and you have to be worried that you might make someone else not safe. So you should spend your whole life thinking about safety. But I will tell you, you will never find stay safe in the Bible. Not one place. You'll find lay down your life. You'll find take up your cross. You'll find go lay hands on the sick. Jesus lays hands on the lepers, which was like the COVID of his day, right? Actually, more real than COVID, which is not everything we've been told it was. And so this stay safe thing is ungodly, and it's self-absorbed, because it makes us absorbed all the time with us. We think it's loving, but it's about us, because I need to stay safe, and I need to be so worried that I'm perfect and I'm doing all these things that I have very little faith in the resilience and the common sense and the choices of others. I'm putting myself in a godlike position to keep everyone around me safe. Well, you know what? They have choices. They have boundaries. They have immune systems. They have resources. People can choose to do things. There's a God at work. There's a faithfulness at work. There's the reality that the risen, living Christ flows out of me. He always leads me in triumph. And that out of me flows the fragrance of life. That the law of sin and death doesn't flow through me anymore, the law of the spirit of life. What if I walked into every room going, actually, I'm bringing you the health that you need. Your proximity to me is bringing you healing, is bringing you life, is helping you get over your fear. I've already died. I'm ready to go to heaven. I'm doing some healthy things for my immune system, and I'm rebuking this and that risk in the name of Jesus. I refuse to even allow it. I just say you can't function here. You fear and you sickness and you bacteria or you virus, no, you can't function here. I don't give you permission, and I don't give you permission in here. And I carry healing to others. They need me. They need my proximity because of Jesus. They need Jesus in me. So this whole idea of fear and staying safe is so completely self-absorbing, because when you move into that hyper responsibility for the safety of everyone on the planet, when it is an irrational thing to ask of anyone in any society, makes you even more self-involved and anxious and self-protective and self-focused. Did I do just right? Was I okay? Did I do that? How many masks? How many of this? How many of that? Right? And of course, we can go into all the reasons why none of that works and why we're being lied to. But my point is this, is that love is outward focused. Love puts you in proximity to other people. Yes, do you respect their boundaries? Yes, you do. You can read people. You know where they're at. You can kind of read them, what they do and don't want you to do. Okay, fine. But it's my posture of love for them and care for them and focus on value add that actually sets me free from the fear that I didn't do it right, or that I was a danger, or that they could hurt me back. And so I think right now it's important that we get busy and stay busy, focusing on the needs of others in the sense of service to shift the narrative out of fear, out of anxiety, out of disconnection, out of isolation, out of bullying and all these things. And the more we get focused on loving and serving other people, the more we are going to find ourselves liberated from that contaminating self-focus, which is fear, right? So this is what I'm doing every day. I don't think I have a ton of energy like I normally have had in the past. I do feel like there's stuff in the atmosphere. I do feel like there's a thickness, you know. There's a lot of information to process. There's a lot of stuff we're dealing with. But I can do some things, and I can gather some people, and I can communicate, and I can offer truth and solutions and ways to skin the cat that no one has thought about. And I can listen, and I can care for, and I can literally, I mean, not just on Zoom, sit across from somebody and say, tell me, share with me, help me understand you. You're the kind of person that I never really want to hang out with generally. I mean, but I need to know you. And over the last year, I have purposely put myself in positions like that, especially when I didn't want to. I've purposely invited people to my house to sit with me, to talk with me, to have wine and cheese and tell me their perspective. I've purposely reached out. I've purposely stuck out my neck and not looked back. And over time, we want that focus that says, and you know what that opens up in us is the ability to receive God's love because we're so busy giving it, right? I'm receiving more of his love for me because my focus is now at releasing that love to others. I'm not quite as obsessed with my own self-protection. So this is what at least I aspire to do, to be someone who adds that value and is so busy thinking about God's perfect love flowing through me in specific practical ways that take my time and energy and focus and require my work, so that it's amazing how much is not all about me, right? And my safety, or you and your safety. There's just too many more other important things to do. Now, are there issues related to old triggers and memories and chemical reactions and fight or flight and things we have to heal from and new brain training? I'm working on my new man scriptures from Curry Blake about putting off the old man with his fleshly desires and putting on the new man that lives constantly awakened in the renewing of refreshing of my mind, like unto my Creator. And I'm thinking about it. I'm putting in new Bible verses about the new Julie, what I got in Christ, and rejiggering that and filling my mind with those things and making those declarations, because I have to shepherd my thoughts. I have to shepherd what I'm doing and stay proactive. Right now, I wake up every day and I've got a very strategic choice to make. Am I going to be sad and absorbed and obsessed with when the baby's coming and what I can't control and what seems yucky and what someone else is doing and how bad it is? I have to make a decision really quickly in the morning, or else because of circumstances around us, I can feel the heaviness. I can feel, the stuff, the yuck. And I have to go, no, we're not going to do that. We have things to do. There's stuff to accomplish. There's people to love. There's projects and responsibilities and things I can do to help people around me connect better, be more effective, make positive change, and feel valued and loved. So that, my friends, is a little daily tip. If you are doing all that to be loved, that's kind of an anxious thing. That's kind of a not, hey, Lisa, it's good to see you. If you're going, I'm going to do all these good things so people will like me and love me, well, that's a little bit of a different story. And that's not the issue I'm bringing up. Because there are some of us who spent many years just scanning the horizon to find out what people wanted from us, and then we tried to punch in, into all those needs so that we would be valued and loved and accepted and, God's little girl and, nice Christian and, just tell me what you need and get that validation. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when God inside of you gives you a desire to bring the solution for someone else. It's desire focused. It's being aware, wow, I have some skills. I have some resources. I've got some Jesus, and I'm aware of a need, and my desire to meet it is coming from a place of love, resource, and possibility, not from a, oh my gosh, what do I have to do to fix the world, right? People-pleasing problems, that's exactly right. That's not what I'm talking about. You can do a lot of people-pleasing, and it will keep you busy for a while, but the problem with that is the anxiety will build up. What I'm talking about is, what do you have in your hand? What capabilities do you have? I keep saying it, who can you have over for dinner? Who can you invite to your home for home fellowship? Who can you take a walk with? Whose need in the community can you meet with your creative ideas that kind of gets you sparking, like, hey, I got an idea. Let's do this. I got a great idea. Let's find a different way to do this. Let's look at the lay of the land and go, they'll never expect us this way, in this beautiful creative outlet to solve this problem. Let's go for it. And when you're in that space, you feel activated in gifting, right? And in creativity. And that's what I'm talking about. Go into those situations and focus on the love. And if they make you a little bit uncomfortable, that's great too, because it really is about being super mindful and saying, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get up again today and do something I probably don't want to do, but it's not out of people pleasing. It's out of determination to be free, knowing that I have what it takes, and I've got something in me to offer, and I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to allow this situation to teach me yet again that I can have confidence in God. So here we are. I got to get busy loving some people, and I even prayed this week that God would give me a divine appointment to spend some time with somebody who has a really bad reputation as a very difficult person. And I actually asked God for a divine appointment. Never met before. And I just, but my, and I was like, and when I prayed it, I was like, oh gosh, I hope you weren't paying attention. But I realized the irony of me carrying a grudge about somebody who's a difficult person and known to be, and I thought, what if I got busy kind of loving that person? I wonder what that would look like. I wonder how much fear and anxiety they would inspire if I actually had a moment when I could speak love or life or hope. And who knows what could happen. It makes me really uncomfortable just thinking about it. I don't even want to think about it. But this is the kind of thing you do in fear-free living. You do something that scares you. You even say, because God is so good that I'm even going to pray for a divine appointment to sow a love seed into a person who scares a lot of people. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm just telling you, I'm in this with you. So there's some people and some things we can do that amount to love and service and help. And we can be doing that no matter what's happening up here with the big old national baby we're waiting to get born. We can keep doing these other things. And I think when the time is right, I will break out the old teaching, mentoring thing and start giving you some real, more intense coaching on fear-free living. Right now, we're in a transition. So we're kind of in this together, and I'm proud of you guys, and I'm proud of what you're doing and how you're hanging in there and how you're standing firm and you're not giving up and you're not letting the external narrative dictate your internal narrative. That's pretty awesome. So go do something that scares you, and I'll see you tomorrow.